shocker. Denver Fire is getting ready to give an update on last Friday's massive 5-alarm fire that's kept crews busy monitoring and extinguishing hotspots over the last 4 days. So far, they haven't given a cause for what started the fire at the apartment complex, which is under construction along Leetsdale Drive and South Forest Street. Let's go to their news conference that's just getting underway.
That this fire has put on the community and the residents that surround this building. Me and my team have been working diligently with local businesses to get them back into business, with homeowners to get them back in their homes. We recognize that this really is a lot of drama and hardship for our community, and we're working really hard to get Leetsdale back open and to get all these businesses back in business. The night of the fire, I spoke to this a little bit on Saturday when I spoke to all of you, but I want to speak to it a little bit more because it's so very important. And that is, if you take a look at the businesses that are around this main building here that was on fire, there are businesses and there are also residences, homes up on top of the hill. As firefighters, we're trained to go to a fire and put that fire out. But one thing that sticks in the back of our minds all the time is that we don't want that fire to spread to another building outside of the building it didn't start in. And we really had two problems when we showed up here, is that we had this enormous fire that we had to get a handle on. And our crews worked diligently to start putting water on that fire to try to keep it from spreading. But what we had was a crews that were disciplined, that were aggressive, that saved these businesses here on the side, and those residences, those homes up on top of the hill. They kept those homes from burning to the ground. If you take a drive and look at those homes, you're going to see some of the siding, some of the fencing that is burned completely off. And it takes a lot of discipline and courage to look away from a big fire to put a much smaller one out in somebody's home. Our folks did an amazing job that day, really having two really big problems in front of them. There's been a lot of questions about the water flow that we've put together here. In fact, I've had a lot of questions because I don't think I've ever been at a fire where we flowed so much water. I have some experts on my job that really kind of nerd out in a good way on water flow and how much water is produced when we have an engine running and nozzles flowing, whether it's through a hand line, whether it's through a tower ladder like you see here. We have a rough calculation that we have flowed from the beginning of the fire till just yesterday when we stopped of 18 million gallons. That is a heck of a lot of water to put on this fire. At one point we had 16 aerial apparatus with aerials up in the air flowing lots of water. A single aerial will flow 1,000 gallons a minute of water. One of those buckets that has two nozzles coming out is flowing 2,000 gallons a minute. So major water application here. We teamed up yesterday with Colorado Task Force 1 and their human remains search dogs. So yesterday morning we brought out two human remains search dogs. These are the kind of dogs that we've relied on before when we have a building where we can't do a search like we've done in this building. I think I've told all of you that it's really difficult. We are unable to get in these buildings that you see behind us because of the danger. We were able to take these human remains search dogs and put them in this vast open area over here where most of the building has collapsed. And they spent hours and hours running through that open pit. And I'm happy to say at this point there was nothing found by those dogs, and they're very good at what they do. These are the same dogs that we've obviously used in the past. Most recently with that flooding in Texas where all those young children were swept away by water. These were the same dogs that they used down there. So a great resource, and we're thankful to them. The fire department has set up a tip line, and this tip line is for anybody that has information, whether verbal, a text, whether they have any video that they want to send. I will definitely get this posted on our website, but that tip line number is 720-672-5101. Somebody will be there. If they don't pick up the phone right away, they will get right back to you and talk to you. Anything you have to say, anything you saw that night ahead of the fire that might be of value to us, we're really looking for folks to give us a call. Lastly, our Denver Fire Investigation Unit has been teaming for a long time. They've had a great working relationship with the Denver field office of the ATF. Through that working partnership, the Denver field office of the ATF has requested the National Response Team, the NRT. The NRT is a group of certified fire investigators from around the country that are going to come help our fire investigation, try to draw this fire to a conclusion and help give us some answers. With that NRT, you have, and I want to kind of list some of the resources that are with that: certified explosive specialists and fire investigators, fire protection, electrical forensic engineers, forensic chemists, forensic mapping specialists, accelerant and explosive detection canine teams. We're really happy with this federal partnership. We're hoping that we can get this community back in service, get people back to their lives, and the sooner that we can really get to a cause of this fire and get some direction for all of you, bringing in that team will greatly help us. I am ready to take questions.
Have you ruled anything out or in terms of potential causes?
Yeah, great question. We have not. We are looking at everything right now. I know there's tons of speculation out there. Literally, we are looking at everything that we can right now.
When speaking to the challenges of investigating a cause like this, why would we need the ATF and then now federal investigators?
Yeah, the challenge is obviously, if you look at this building and the square block that it sits on, first of all, Denver Fire Department has a fantastic fire investigation team. But they maybe need just a little bit more help here, get some more folks on hand to kind of help them through this. It is still going to remain our investigation, but we're asking these folks to come on scene and help us just kind of go through this. This is a very large footprint, lots of video to look at, lots of people to interview, lots of forensic stuff to look at, and we're hoping that team can help us through that.
This is a massive building. Why did that fire spread so quickly?
Yeah, because it was unoccupied. That's really the main answer. But there's some other things with this building being unoccupied that really hurt us from the onset, is that it didn't really have full fire protection stuff in place. No fire alarms, no working sprinklers, right? In your home or your apartment, you have drywall, which slows down fire spread, not fully drywalled. So this was able to run. There was no fire stops. Fire was really able to run pretty cleanly for a while, and just got to a point where then it just took over the rest of the building.
And some neighbors we talked to, they said they heard explosions. I mean, that could be a variety of things, but we've also heard rumors about potentially fireworks being involved in the start of the fire. Have you guys found any remains of that?
Sure, I've even seen the video of fireworks. I've been on the same social media websites. Our investigators are looking at all of that. The explosion, the fireworks, is that a possibility? They have lots of things that they're looking at here for that. The explosion could have been just part of the building falling because there was some initial collapse right away, or propane or something. But I can tell you this: we have some experts, and we brought in more experts, and they're going to help help you figure this out.
Can you speak to how many, you mentioned businesses were still closed and some people out of their homes. How many businesses closed? How many people still out of their homes?
Roughly, I think I've dealt directly with probably 3 to 5 of the businesses around here. Really worked vigorously, mostly yesterday, to try to get them back online. We're able to kind of concentrate that yellow tape, that barrier just around this building, and let folks start getting back into business. Homes, most people were back in their homes the next day. There's some significant damage to a couple of them, but that shouldn't stop them from going back home.
We were here earlier this morning. We still saw smoke kind of smoldering from there. Obviously, they were up in that little hangar thing watching. Are you guys still keeping an eye out for potentially like another little spark or something to flare up?
Sure, we are here. Denver Fire has had a constant presence here from the outset of the fire. We have never left this building. We have had Denver firefighters here watching over, taking care of this building, and we will continue to do that until the investigation's complete and we hand this off. The hidden fire that you're talking about, some of this fire we just can't get to. It's covered up, it's hidden by collapse. I can't send firefighters in there because of the danger of more collapse. So we just kind of have hose lines on top, hoping we can kind of get that water in there somehow and put that fire out. Until this building really gets fully collapsed behind me, you're going to see a little bit of residual smoke activity.
Is there going to be any sort of initiation to collapse the rest of the
We are having those discussions right now, and I am currently, in fact, today having discussions with the ATF about when is the appropriate time to bring this building down. That will do us a lot of good. It will stop most of that smoke and fire stuff that's happening, right, that we can't get to. It will open up lanes of traffic here on Leetsdale. It'll start bringing some closure to the neighborhood so they can start being normal again, right? So very much it's on the top of my radar to have this building brought down.
And we've been following breaking news. You just heard from Denver Fire's Division Chief Robert Murphy in regard to the Friday evening 5-alarm massive fire that took place on Leetsdale Drive, South Forest Street. That was that construction site of the apartment complex. Chief Murphy did talk about the massive amounts of water that it took to fight this fire. He talked about 18 million gallons of water, 16 aerials. He also talked about that it was not safe for firefighters to enter said construction site, so they did engage human remain search dogs, and luckily those search dogs found nothing. Also, they will be partnering with federal investigators to locate a cause for this fire. Also, he talked about the fact that there were no sprinkler systems in place, no drywall, which definitely could have led to the expansion of that fire. And lastly, he's calling on all of us, if you have any tips, if you were in that area, to please call their tip line. And their tip line is 720-672-5101. We will continue to have more details in regard to this Denver 5-alarm fire throughout the day on 9 News and 9 News Plus.